Hello, thanks so much for joining me today. And in this video, we're going to be looking at make.com. This is a great tool to have. It has a ton of functionality, and I'm excited to show what you can do. So you can go to the main page, just make come, it will show up like this, and you can go ahead and click login or get started for free. So it has a great free trial with a lot of functionality. There's a lot of AI tools that don't necessarily have as great of free trials. You can't really use it as much, but Make is one that you can really use for free and get a lot of functionality out. So once you log in, you'll have a page like this. You probably will have a blank chart here because you haven't done anything yet, and then there won't be anything here either. So let me kind of show you some things that you could potentially do, and then I'll show you what I've been using it for. So let's look at some of the templates. So these are some of the things that it's able to do. So the idea of Make is let's automate things. So instead of I receive an email and I need to forward it to someone else, instead of me doing that physically every time that happens, let's just have it happen automatically. Okay, so some of the things that it might be able to do is send Telegram messages for new RSS feed items. So maybe you have a particular news thing that you're looking at, and then it will just send that automatic Telegram message, right? Another thing is automatically forward Gmail emails containing specific word to another email address. So you can say, every time I receive an email from this person or about this particular topic, forward that email to another email address, right? Create a MailChimp subscribers from new Google Sheets row, right? So every time a new subscriber is added to your Google Sheet spreadsheet, Make will automatically add a new subscriber to the selected MailChimp list, right? This one here would be get RSS feeds updates in a single email summarizing all the posts that contain a specific keyword. So that would be one way. So you can have, maybe you want to get news for particular source, but you only want the articles about some particular topic, right? You'd be able to do that. The idea here is being able to automate things. So you don't have to do just those manual tasks, those sort of robotic like tasks that just aren't very interesting. They're just kind of a waste of time, but they need to get done, right? And so this is what it excels so well at. Okay. Here would be automatically upload email attachments to your FTP server, right? It's really that you're only limited by what you can think of, right? Send Telegram messages for new Facebook group posts. So maybe you have a group that you want to send out, or it could be that you're running that Facebook group and you are also running a Telegram bot, right? And so having both things be automated means that you just post once and then it's there. And so there's a ton of different things, right? So many different options, so many different ways that you can use it. Create a document from a template containing data from a record in an Airtable. It has a ton of plugins, Discord, Facebook, right? Honestly, it has so many plugins, but then also you have the ability to kind of create your own um, API. So if there's a particular app or service that you wanted to use that wasn't directly linked to you weren't able to use that directly, you could then create a general API call and then be able to use that. Okay. It is a little bit more tricky. We'll talk about maybe some other options in a little bit, but it's definitely something that requires maybe a little bit more background knowledge of just how programming works. You don't necessarily, it doesn't use a programming language, but you do kind of need to know a little bit of that background maybe. Okay. So connections, these would be the apps that you have connections to. Okay. And then we'll look on scenarios. Okay. So these are the scenarios that I built. So they're a little bit bigger than some of these scenarios that you saw earlier, some of those templates. And so these scenarios are actually pulling in ChatGPT. So for me, I think what makes this so powerful is you're able to actually create content from scratch and then also post it, right? So I have two things running here. One is an Amazon associate account. And so for this, the goal with that one is to get some good deals on Amazon associates or on Amazon using RSS feeds. And then having ChatGPT write a blog article about that and then post it on a blog and then write a Facebook post and post that on Facebook. Okay. And then same thing, very similar idea with daily tech news. So create a blog post, post that on a blog, and then also create a Facebook post on my Facebook page and post those daily tech news updates. Okay. So for me, it's really great because it's able to actually just do this by itself, right? You can see it runs, success, right? And it's able to do that by itself. Like I don't have to go back and do that. What's really great, especially with um, blogs or social media, oftentimes you just need a lot of content, right? You need sort of a base level of content there before you're able to really maybe grow that channel of social media. So having some stuff that's just produced there, right? You can go back and edit it, make changes, but you have something there. And then you can also go back and add in higher quality content as well. But it's great to just have something. It's posting every day, so you're getting something, and so it's a really helpful thing to have, right? You can see this one, and so the way it works is you add these little things here. Each one has a task. So, for example, this one it's looking at the RSS feed of a particular website, right? And it looks that up. So I look up a bunch of different RSS feeds. Then I use ChatGPT to take that information, turn it into an article, turn it into a Facebook page, and then it's emailed, and then that goes to my blog, and then it's added to a Facebook page, right? So it's a little tricky to do, but it's not too difficult. Okay, so if you wanted to create a new scenario, you just hit plus, and then you have all these different options of things that you can plug in. Okay. So there's tons of different options. Any app or service that you use is likely on here. But as I said before, if it's not, you could create an API call to something else. So Discord, all kinds of different options that we have here. Okay. So you can also add a favorites if there's a specific thing that you want to do. So there's a ton of different things you can do, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. So I'm just going to discard the changes there. We don't need to save that. Okay, so that kind of shows you some of the things you could potentially do. It can show you some examples of things that I've been able to do with it. But really, your imagination is really your limit here. Some of the challenges I've noticed is that sometimes it can struggle a little bit, so it is a little bit more complicated. Another alternative that you could look at is called Zapier. And so that's actually a pretty good one as well. It's in the similar thing, automation. I found it's maybe a little bit easier. It's a little bit smoother to use, but it only has a short free trial. Whereas Make has unlimited free trial, so you can continue using it as long as you have a low number of runs. So you wouldn't want to you couldn't run this 1,000 times a day. You're limited on that. But besides that limitation, you can do a ton with it. Whereas Zapier has only a 14-day trial before you start needing to pay. Let's actually look at. So one of the things that I've found has been a bit of a problem that hasn't necessarily worked as well is the email function. Because I'm just using a regular personal email, sometimes it struggled, it's disconnected every once in a while, but that seemed to have cleared up. So that's one thing that you could potentially have. You might have to reconnect it every once in a while, but hopefully not. If you click on my organization, you can also click on upgrade, and I'll kind of show you some of the options here. So free, you get 1,000 operations a month. So that's each little bullet point, right? You get 1,000 of those per month. You get 1,000 plus standard apps, unlimited users, 2 active scenarios. So you can only use 2 scenarios at once, and then you have a limit to the amount of file, like a data amount you have. And then it can only run every 15 minutes. It can't run faster than. Now, if you're running every 15 minutes, you're gonna run out of your operations pretty quickly. And then obviously, if you move up, you can increase your operations if you needed more operations, and then also unlimited number of scenarios. You can have longer scenarios, bigger file sizes, shorter time intervals between the next things. So that's definitely something to look at. You can obviously go up to an enterprise level, and then that will be charged a little bit differently. These ones are yearly plans, so if you're going to this, that's a yearly plan. That's one thing to watch out for. If you needed more operations, that would also add an additional charge. 1 million operations a month, it would be a lot though. So that's kind of just the basic pay layout. So in my experience using it, it's been really great. It's been able to produce some great content, and it's definitely something that's a great tool to use. If you have questions, you're like, oh, what can I actually do with this? Definitely reach out. I'd be happy to try to answer those questions and give you some more detail. But I really enjoy this service. It's a great way to have things automated, create automated content. And so if you're interested, make sure you try the link. It is an affiliate link, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, just go ahead and search for Make. It's definitely something great, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much.